You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 23rd meeting for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
September 23rd, 2025 meeting of the Board of Managers for the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau. May we have the roll call, please?
Laura Krantz, Adam Konechny,
Here.
Martha King, here. Pat Harris,
Here.
Becca Greenlaw, here. Don Babcock,
Yeah, I'm on.
Mike Seitz.
Mike, are you there? Okay.
Diane Gonzalez.
Present.
We have a quorum.
You forgot Rich Grammarosa.
Here.
Rich Grammarosa.
Here.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you for that. Do we have any public comments at this time? You all had your packets with your minutes, had a chance to read them, review them. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
I think we have a motion by Don Babcock and a second by Martha King. Any questions, comments, suggestions? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Brings us right to our report, my report for this month. I'm going to start out by just kind of covering my approval and just total enchantment with the way the summit was held last week for the Tourism Bureau. The summit was designed to reach out to our community and bring some of our leaders into the mix of how we advocate for tourism. And I thought it was an excellent, excellent program. I'd like to thank the staff, everyone who worked on it, that put that together, because it was organized very well. The information shared with us was just, I can't tell you how heartwarming it was for me to be part of that. So I'm very thankful we were able to do that. And we're going to actually continue, that was like part one, and I know Jack's going to talk a little bit more about this later. But that was part one, and we're going to continue this and try to get it as far out, reaching it into the community as we can, so that all of our residents understand the importance of the visitor experience when they come here, how important it is to economic growth of our community, and just overall a good feeling of community and people liking Michigan City, LaPorte, Westfield, Wanata, all the townships within the county. So we're very proud of our efforts in this, and we're looking forward to, again, like I say, making it a series of visits, bringing Josiah back. Everyone in here experienced Josiah. Let's just hear a round of applause for Josiah. He's so infectious. I being around him, I get, want to bring up my pom-poms from old children days. So with that, we're going to just go ahead and move along. We don't have much on the agenda today, so we're going to move right through this and hopefully get you guys out of here in a short period of time. Dan, do you want to give us an update on the strategic planning process?
Yeah, I mean, Pat, I want to echo what you said. I mean, that's just, I'm thankful, Jack's kind of put me in charge of the plan, strategic planning, the business plan aspects, which I like, and Pat, you love it too. And, Jack and I, and the staff, and then Josiah worked very carefully to make sure that Thursday went the way it went. And the level of engagement by the board, because doing the original strategic plan was great, and that was important. We've done that before, but we did it in a new way. And then to do the business plan off of it, which we said we were going to do. Again, this plan's not going to sit on a shelf. and then to move that into the budgeting process. You know, we got that done, but not perfectly for this year because we had so much new staff coming in. And it was a little bit of a refined process. So then have it come a year later and have what happened on Thursday, and then see the engagement of the staff because of the way we did it, and then of the board, it just really, that rarely happens. I'm just saying that rarely happens in an organization where they take it and stay with it a year later and then have it be part of the DNA of the organization. And we did that. And I am so proud of everybody here for the fact that we did that. And Jack and I have been talking now, that's gonna go into the business plan. You guys helped us rethink that, and now we're into the budget rather, and then we'll work on the business plan after the budget's done. And now that the staff's experienced, we have experienced staff that was not that way a year ago. So the business plan and the input on that will be even better. It'll tie even more, and then they'll have ownership of it. We had to kind of get used to how to work the new way, and you know, and how the reporting's going to work. It's kind of a work in progress, and it'll be part of our DNA going into next year, in a way that we wasn't able to do this year. So I went through the business plan, and just sat and went through it yesterday, and then even again the day we said it. The business plan is, I'm really pleased with the fact that we are getting the business plan done, and it's aligned with the strategic plan. And so we spent all of our time getting ready for the planning. Didn't do as much on the reporting for this meeting, but I just want to give you that as my report. The staff's going to get up and give their reports here as the agenda rolls out. But, and my final thought here is that in the environment we're working in more than ever, the world's changing fast. The things that are happening around us that have impact on us. Look at the property tax issue as an example, right? Without a good strategic plan and without the board being immersed in that strategic plan or really understanding and buying into it, we would not be able to react to these emerging situations in as thoughtful and in as impactful a way that keeps us on strategy, but yet allows us to speak and help into these situations as they occur. And so this plan is going to serve us well as we work and navigate through this changing landscape that we'll find ourselves in over the next few years.
So if I could add that too, I agree with all your comments, Dan. They're just dead on. And particularly since we manage a sizable amount of quote public dollars, for us to have a strategic plan that we are engaged in and can report out on, and it helps us getting any scrutiny or criticism from someone else. We have to see our plan, here's our plan. Mm-hmm. And if we've been executing that plan, we built the plan, we told you we were going to have a plan, now we're executing. Not that we can't adjust going forward, but don't argue that we don't have a plan or know what we're doing, particularly with those kind of dollars. And so I'm very pleased to be part of the program. I did want to give another shout out to Josiah because having been at NIPSCO a while, I have had a little media training here and there, a little trial by fire here and there too. But you can't do enough of that. And it's uncomfortable, it's uneasy, it is a learned activity. And for my 2 cents, we should try to do some session like that every year. And just re-hone our elevator speech or whatever the pitch is. And even the direct invitation to get up and speak and encourage you to, get control of what you're saying. Don't apologize for your lack of expertise or whatever. Get right into it, be positive, and even the other critique of it, as you start to make your points, drive them even a little bit harder, have a better close, know who you are. I mean, it's really well done, and it's uncomfortable. My suggestion is we do that some way every year because it's good for all of us, and it'll help you on your jobs too, so, or your family or whatever, yeah.
Thank you for those comments. Any other board members have any feedback they'd like to share? I know Laura was there. Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. All right, well, with that, we will move right into our, thank you, Dan, for the update.
Thank you.
And next month, we'll have, more of a plan
Get
update.
back on the reporting side.
By the way, you are all welcome to contact Dan if you need an update on any items specific in that plan at any time. They'll be more than happy to give you that update. Our treasurer's report, Becky.
Okay. For August 2025, total accounts payable was $542,268.84. Total payroll for August, $72,188.43, for a grand total of $614,457.27. And you've all been provided with the statements of financial position, the profit and loss budget performance, and the bank account reconciliations and your corresponding claim sheets. And I'll pass those around for your signature.
Thank you, Becky. Do we have a motion to approve the financial report as presented by our treasurer?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. We have a motion by Rich Grammarosa and a second by Mark King. Any questions, comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Jack, that brings us down to the CEO report.
Still making notes of that.
Well, don't you know shorthand?
Yeah, you look down here.
It does look like shorthand. It does kind of look like shorthand.
All right, great. So yeah, a little bit different agenda today because we're absorbing everything that happened last week and trying to pull some stuff together. So instead of the normal reports that we have listed here, I'm going to introduce some staff to do some follow-up, kind of a follow-up on what Dan was mentioning, that they're going to give us some individual updates. So having said that, let's see, kind of a heads up, after this week, we should have a pretty good projection on our expenditures through, we'll have an exact projection on our expenditures through September. So we're gonna amortize that through the rest of the year and figure out what our expenditures are for the year so we can start the budget process. We should also be getting our final income report that will fit into the budget process late this week also. So literally by the middle of next week, we should be really in a place where we can identify our income for 25 and our expenditures for 25, and then dive into the process. The budget process is going to be really so much fun this year because we've got so much more engagement, and having the planning to look at and support the budget and build around it is going to be, it's just going to be a great year for that. And I want all the input we can get from everybody. Anything that the current budget that you would like to see go in a different direction or have questions on, please start hitting us up with that. Haven't had a chance to talk to Pat, but I think we'll probably do one or two sub-meetings maybe, if you'd like, a couple workshops if we need to, or
That would be great.
yeah, just to kind of keep folks updated and get all the input we can, on the budget. And I'm not even gonna speculate at all right now on anything until we gauge our expenditures. That's the big thing. And then the income, we think we know what we're gonna be there, and Amy and Brett's gonna talk about that. And I try not to steal your thunder. How's that?
Let's say Brett's recording, so now we.
I'm good excited. So having said all that, the goal probably will be that have the budget in front of you for a vote at the November meeting. December gets a little sketchy sometimes with the holiday.
We should be okay though.
We shouldn't have any problem getting it out there, and that'd give us the whole month of October literally to, in the first couple weeks of November, to finish input and make sure we've given everybody a chance to have a voice in that. So, especially staff, of course, and I know they're waiting to hear more on that, so we're anxious to move forward with that. Visitor economy management, that's gonna be our new, yeah, that's, Laura sent me a note last night and mentioned that again, I just had to say that, that's just one of the things that I left with, and I think that's gonna be kind of the new way we structure some of our opening statements as we start going around it and spreading our story a lot more. So.
Jay, just explain that for anyone in our viewing audience that may not know what we're talking about when we say, why we're using that terminology now. Because it's very important. The whole summit thing last week brought that out.
Yeah, so it's a more, I don't want to say more professional way, but probably a more accurate way of actually describing what we do. Our job is to manage the dollars that come in from visitors, which is the visitor economy. That's something that they create that economy by bringing those dollars in. So and then our job is to manage it, and that's what we're talking about, budget, right? We're talking about all of and what we're going to talk about when Chris goes over her spreadsheet, talks about the South County uptick that we've had this year, and what we're doing there. All of that comes back to managing those dollars, managing, and so it's just a different way of saying it's going to catch some attention versus the way we've been socializing it before.
Not only the dollars, but the activities and all the other
That
things
go along, yeah.
that go along with it.
Absolutely.
Managing all of that.
Yes, yeah. So, and what a great, in all the years I've been here, I've not seen the kind of participation. 100% of the staff participated in everything, and the highest percentage I've ever seen of board and board support that we've had in everything. Our attorneys, so many board members were involved, so it was just great. It was just very uplifting as we all felt. So moving forward, if there's any questions on that budget timeline, let us know. But once we see what I think we're going to see at the end of this week, I think the process is going to go pretty simple, unless we decide to step into a new project or something that's been socialized as something we might want to do down the road. But there'll be recommendations on that as we get closer. And then lastly, there has been some discussion, and you've all probably heard bits and pieces of it, about coming up with a county-wide event director. And I just want to tell you all those discussions are still going on. We've had one meeting already, and we're meeting again with both mayors, FMEC, and their folks, the 9th, I believe, again,
October 9th.
back and talk more. I would venture to say that the direction I'm hearing right now, it probably will not go in our budget in 26. There needs to be a plan in place, and there needs to be some clear support documents that aren't in place.
Structure.
Yeah, that's right. There's got to be, and we're not there yet. We thought we were in a little bit of a time crunch because of Michigan City's budget timeline, but as it turns out, that's not the case. So I guess my comment on that would be that should FMEC, the county, us, the mayor decide to do something halfway into 26, let's say, with that, because it's not going to be in the budget, we'll just do a special appropriation. That's a tool that we've come up and started to use, if in fact that's what we decide to do.
Right.
I think the proper way to do that would be maybe look at 27, probably be more realistic, because it's a big move, and there's just a lot of moving parts. So glad to keep you updated on that as we move forward. So having said that, let's get into a couple staff reports. We're going to do a brief, we got data from Placer, and we got data from Surtec. And it's the first time we've had both. And Chelsea has combined those reports. We're going to email it out to you, so don't feel like you've got to absorb everything that we just touch on right here today.
There will be a pop quiz.
Yeah, so we'll get this emailed out to you, and then there are There are some other numbers and a few more graphs we'll be sending out that we're not gonna go over today. We just didn't have time to get them all together for you today. So I can say unequivocally that just what we thought was gonna be, the boat race was just over the top number-wise. So Chelsea, why don't you and Scott, I don't know, Scott, are you gonna narrate it, or Chelsea, I don't know who's, Scott?
Probably Chelsea.
Okay, cool.
She had more hands on it than what I did.
So basically some of our general numbers, I think last year we were thinking around 300,000 people attended the event. We got numbers from Placer AI and it was 391,500, which Placer shows as a 4.5% increase year over year. So a lot more visitors than we even had anticipated. The out-of-market visitors were equivalent to about 261,000, just over 261,000. So Placer's telling us our overall growth in broad geographic reach, both day trippers and overnight guests are one of our key insights for the event overall. Of course, our attendance was higher over the weekend, but we still brought in approximately 42,000 people between Monday and Wednesday, which I think is, because we extended our events to a whole race week, so we do have quite a bit of attendance for those smaller events at the beginning of the week as well. Our top spillover attractions are our Lighthouse Place premium outlets at almost 69,000 visits for that week, which is incredible for, it's about 26% of all of our attraction traffic goes to the Lighthouse Mall. Blue Chip Casino came in underneath them, and then of course some of our dining hotspots and retail and leisure. Specifically, a lot of our downtown people get a lot of extra visits for the week. We have about approximately 1.95 day stays, so that has been up. Again, I think it attributes to adding some of those events earlier in the week, adding the Brew Fest on Friday. I know jumped up our overnight stay amount of time as well this year. Filling all of our hotels. The non-local visitors to the event contributed almost or nearly 29.3 million into LaPorte County's economy, and that's compared to 23.6 in 2024. So we saw a huge uptick with the amount of people that came to visit, with how much money we actually have them put back into our local economy. The visitors generate 7.6 million in tax revenues to government. There's about 1.5 to local government, 2.8 to state, and 3.3 million to federal government.
Why do they get so much? No.
Generated jobs over 6.1 million in wages to LaPorte County. So basically, we get a lot of visits from our surrounding states as well, with Michigan and Chicago, of course Indiana and Ohio, but we bring people up from Kentucky. A lot of our racers and their families come from Florida, so that's a big pull for us also. This year we also saw quite a few people from over in California that came in, which is kind of a new area for us this year. We reached all the way out to California. And then of course our international visitors as well, which are a lot of our race teams. We've even got new race teams from Canada that came. So we are pulling more even from Canada than we were before. And we had about 16.1 travelers were on their first visit to the county, not to the event, but to our county. So we hope that bringing them in that time, of course, it brings them in the future for other vacations, family vacations, that sort of thing. 22.6% were attending the Great Lakes Grand Prix for the first time. Over 35.5% had attended the event 10 or more times. So we are bringing in a lot of new people, but also we are still bringing in people every single year. But seeing almost 100,000 extra people this year, our numbers are just
those are the ones that are gonna end up moving and living here.
Yes, yes. Yep. So that's about it. There's a lot more, as Jack said, kind of breaking down everything, but those are just kind of some of our general highlights from all the numbers from that Surtech report and then Placer AI that Robbie does for us.
So Chelsea, your first number was 391,000 visitors versus 300,000, was that the?
Yeah, so the 391,500 was for this year.
Right.
And last year, we didn't have Placer AI in place yet. And Surtech doesn't give us a total visits number. So we always kind of manage that based off of almost a guesstimate, an educated guess. But with Placer AI this year, we were actually able to pull the exact number.
That'll be interesting to get next time, because I was gonna say, your math was, you said a 5% increase or 6%. It's really, on those two numbers, it's 30%. So that's not a small increase. That's,
Yeah.
of course, the bottom number's an estimate though, so that's not
Right, right.
accurate. So, well, it's yeah.
And we kind of always underestimated even our attendance for the block party and then
Sure.
finding Placer AI.
That's great.
We get the actual numbers now, so.
So as we mentioned, that's coming to you, so once you see it, if you've got any questions, please shoot us an email, get back to us, and we'll clarify or glad to expound on that. And we do have some more numbers coming for you too, that we still need to put into context. And what's happening, so when you got two different companies, like Placer, their overnight stays that they showed us was 1.6, that's a great number. You know, you take almost 400,000 people, and they're 1.6% of them is staying overnight. Bingo. I mean, that's the home run we wanted to hit. But then when we looked at Surtech's numbers, it was 2.3.
Not percent, but 2.3 people.
Days.
Days, I'm sorry, days, yeah, days, not percent, but days.
That's right, 2 point. And so we, for the purpose of discussion today, we just averaged that out to 1.95. You know, just, we're gonna do a little more drilling down into that, but we're happy with even the low end number.
And some of that discrepancy kind of comes down to where Surtech defines the limits of Michigan City, because anyone who lives outside of Michigan City counts as a visitor versus resident. And so where Surtech's boundaries versus Placer's boundaries might be slightly different, and that would skew some of those numbers slightly. But it doesn't mean either one of them's wrong, it's just a slightly different methodology.
And we really like this combined report, because Placer does theirs, Robbie, I'm getting way out of my lane here, but obviously they do it by tracking cell phones. I mean, that's and it's more of an electronic based conclusions that they come up with. Surtech comes on site, and they literally ride the buses for Blue Chip out to the park and sit next to the visitors, ask questions. They go under the VIP tent and sit when they're eating, you know, where you're from, where you going, why are you here, all the pertinent questions. So we're getting great input, we feel like, and we're gonna have a lot more to share with you and get your input on how we can read those numbers and make adjustments moving into next year. Anything, Scott, anything to add?
No, I think just to echo that, I think with doing the Placer ID versus Surtech, I think now we're gonna actually dig in deep and see exactly where we're at with everything, the numbers wise, the stays. I'm excited, but I'm nervous to see what next year brings, because it's the expectations from this year.
Well, it's supposed to work.
I need the
Bar just keeps raising.
I need that Christmas bonus.
We don't have bonuses. Good job, get that up there. All right, guys. So, moving on. So, but to that note, Chelsea, please make sure we email, I'm gonna introduce Chris to talk, make sure we introduce that spreadsheet we're using again to the board, and then the new data when we get to the rest of Robbie's data. Okay, thank you. Moving on to Amy.
All right.
Well, the Michigan City Chamber is launching a new magazine called the Michigan City Momentum Magazine that's coming out soon, and I just wanted to share that we are listed as a gold member as well. We have a quarter-page ad in that book, so watch for that. That'll be distributed throughout the county. Again, like I said, it's coming out soon. They're going to have it digitally on their website as well. And then through our Great News Life partnership, a digital story was recently published promoting the LaPorte Little Theater. It's a lot of words. Their 100th anniversary is this year. They've been celebrating it for quite some time, but they put out a nice article about that. And then speaking of, they've got some upcoming shows this weekend and next weekend, so I would encourage everyone to go see those shows. Another major focus this month has been our visitor's guide. Once again, the Herald Dispatch is managing the sales, and the Sarah Group is doing the creative design for us. Our staff has been entering contracts and writing stories, so we're busy working on that. We've got a couple of exciting announcements that we've been working through with them as well. We're going to have a thicker cover this year. Also, we're going to go with perfect binding instead of saddle stitching, so it's going to give it more of a magazine look and feel. So we're really excited about that upgrade. I think it's just going to give it a whole new look. So again, excited about that. This project, we will be working on it diligently through December. Again, staff will be entering contracts, editing, and re-editing. We do a lot of editing on that thing just to make sure there's no mistakes, no issues. But anyway, so we will work on that. We'll have it done at the end of beginning of December. It will go to print and then be ready for distribution at the beginning of January. Then as far as, let's see, what else? Oh, we're also reviewing our business and marketing plan, our strategic plan, as Dan talked about, and just going through that with Jack and our team, and we're going to be ready as far as basically budget and initiatives for 2026.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So I'll just comment on the visitor's guide. For those that don't know, we farm that out to the News Dispatch / Herald Artist, the paper, and they do the soliciting of all the sponsorships. They retain all the dollars, and they pay for the printing of the document. And that's, so that way we're not chasing around our partners for money and knocking on doors. We got out of that business. It's worked really well, but we are definitely not out of the work side of that process. Our staff spends hours and hours putting together, because our name's on this. And we nothing's gonna go out unless it's, and Amy's just done a great job of staying on top of that, but almost every staff in this room contributes tons of man hours to that. What was the word we used, Dan, the other day?
Oh, human capital.
Human capital. Okay, that was, but we've got a lot of that in this process for sure. And this whole last quarter that'll take up 40-50% of our human capital. So great job with that, keep it up. So next, Brett's gonna follow up with heads and beds.
Well, on the bright side, we have gotten partial numbers for August, and through August, we were projecting we're definitely up for 2025 in innkeeper's tax. I know Jack likes to put numbers on these, and we're just going to keep it as we're up. Very happy with
Give us
that.
a percent. No, I'm just.
Well, what I will say is we were running fairly flat, like up 1 month, even, down. I would say beginning in June, our innkeeper's tax has really kicked into another gear, as we're always used to. But just remember, like, we're still comparing that over numbers from years past, so it's not just that the summer months are busier, but this summer's busier than last summer. One of the tools that we've had at our disposal this year is AirDNA, and we went in there and did some research for our short-term rental committee meeting that we had. And what we've discovered is studios and 1-bedrooms are running behind. They're actually down a little bit compared to years past. However, the 5- and 6-bedroom like market and above, which basically is going to be your larger houses like in Beach Walk and Level Lake Shore, same with LaPorte, on like Pine and Stone Lakes, the larger ones, are up anywhere from 10 to 20%. I think 5 bedrooms were 9.7, which we're gonna round up to 10 as we've learned to do here over at Europe. And then the 6 bedrooms and up are up almost 20%. So the market's growing, it's the larger ones that are growing, and a lot of our growth right now is centered around our short-term rental market and the increase that we're getting from our state distribution on innkeepers.
That's interesting because that kind of directs us to the market that we're looking at. When you see that the studio and 1 bedrooms are not growing, but those large ones are, say in groups or family type activity is occurring more so now. So it's
I would say there could be a couple other factors working into that, though. I think Dan and I have discovered from looking at the AirDNA numbers and from talking to everyone, I think the market has grown. There are more studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms available now than there have been in years past, and the numbers off AirDNA back that up. So the market's grown, so the demand isn't there for the smaller ones like it is for the bigger ones, because I don't think the market's growing as fast, if at all, for the 5 and 6 bedrooms market area. Demographic, I guess, is what I would say.
Oh, I thought what I heard was that there's more demand for the 5 and 6 bedrooms. That's.
Yes, but the market hasn't grown with the demand, which is why the numbers are going up, I think. So your ADR is what we always look at from a hotel or.
Okay.
So when their average daily revenue goes up, we identify the fact that it's growing up for short-term rentals in the larger rental area, and the smaller rental area, the ADR is remaining flat to down a little bit in studios and 1 bedroom.
Yeah, be careful what you give me because.
Oh, that's okay.
My mind is going.
We've all learned.
I'm not serious about that.
Oh, no, absolutely. But the bottom line is we're happy with where we're at. That's always a good thing. We feel like we'll be up throughout the rest of the year. I think we're going to have great numbers for you by the end of the year and actually give you some dollar amounts maybe starting next month as we get a little more sure of ourselves. Also, we've been working really close with the county. We do have a few delinquent properties in our region, and the county has been great. We've been working a lot with the office, especially with Kelly Wozniak, and letters have been sent out for the first time to some of our behind properties, letting them know that the county is taking a more proactive approach, and that penalties for late fees or for late payments will be starting to be assessed here in the coming future. And the other thing they've also done with this is one of our properties that is further behind than others. We've started the lien process with them. The county and our staff has worked closely with them to try to get some payment plans together and to be as proactive as we can, but just in everyone's protection, they have started the lien process. So we've been working closely with them on that, and we feel like we're going in the right direction.
And I think you all received a full update on that particular property last month. I think I sent you out everything that we have on that one. If you got any more questions, let us know. And by statute now, the treasurer's office has to take over and go through, hire or have the county attorney or hire an outside attorney to come in and do the lien process. Is that kind of normal?
Noticeably,
Okay. So that's good. Anything else, Brent?
Nope.
Good, yeah, thank you. Diego, community update.
Part of what I do is work on the different boards that I'm on. I raise money for them to have different events. So September 13th, I was able to raise $5,000 for the Michigan City Public Arts Committee for us to make over the skate park in Michigan City on Highway 12. If you haven't been down there, take a look. It was painted. We have murals all over everything. We had a wonderful turnout. I know, Don, you were there for that.
So it was wonderful.
It was a great event.
And it really uplifted the image of the park. And the nice thing about that park is high profile, so when it was first came in, I think Mayor Oberly was in office, and the kids all use it, because there's other skate parks around the county that aren't used that much. But this added an extra flair to it, rather than just over time, many of those parks get covered with graffiti and some other things that aren't as nice as these murals, which really raise the bar relative to the look and the image of our community. So, well done, Dale. Thank you. I mean, by the way, while I'm talking, did you just get a nice award?
Yeah.
I told him, Blair, thank you. Wait, okay, pass.
You can pass that down that way. Last week, I received the Book of Golden Deeds Awards, and it was presented by the Exchange Club of Michigan City, and this was the 44th award. Lots of attendance. Jack was there speaking for me, and so was Denise. And what an excellent honor, because they are service to our community. So to be recognized by them was a wonderful thing. I appreciate it.
You all stole my thunder. I was leaving that for more comments at the end.
If Don hadn't done it, I was gonna, so we didn't know. We got it out there.
I will comment on that. Dale is very active in the community, and I'm kind of active, so I run into her a lot, so I know she's very active. It's not just her reporting, it's after seeing her in action and what she's doing for the community. So we're very pleased at what she's doing. And actually, we should be very proud that someone like Dale is committed to this organization at the level that she is. So good job, Dale.
Thank you. So that was September 13th. Later on that evening, I arranged a tour on the Amuda Tube for the LaPorte County Historical Society Museum. We sold it out. There were 100 tickets sold, which is what that boat has capacity for. So they were able to raise lots of money for that. Last week, I arranged a historic tour for downtown LaPorte. We had a lot of people go on that tour. It was absolutely free, and we just walked up and down the street, and we got information from the county historian, Bruce Johnson, talking about the different buildings and what was there before. And we started out at A Whole World of Goods, which is if you haven't been to that store, you should really go. They do lots of good work. The people that they buy things from, it's women or girls from like third world countries, and they help them have businesses. So that's a wonderful thing as well. So that's what I've been doing lately. Oh, one other thing. I'd like to wish happy birthday to all of my co-workers here. Scott's was the 18th, Brett's was the 20th. Calvin's is the 26th.
Yes, ma'am.
And Chris and Melissa's on 13th, so I want to wish them all happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
It's my understanding that around 10 o'clock today, if any of you are free, there's gonna be a little bit of a celebration. There'll be some food for the combined birthdays, so please come back and join us. So it was my honor to speak at the awards presentation for the Change Club. For the only problem I had was they put me on behind a minister. And somebody told me a long time ago, you don't want to speak behind somebody that's running for office or a minister. And this guy got up and killed it. I mean, he just did a great job. But he does what I do to staff all the time. He stole all my thunder, everything, all my notes, every bit. So, but it was an honor to be able to say a few words today on this, we all know. So moving on, Robbie and Bill are going to just talk briefly about anything that comes to mind from any of you, or some technology updates that relate to the data we're collecting and some of the stuff moving forward. Who wants to go first or together?
Well, the other thing I want to quickly do is give a quick update on NITDC. We've moved into fall, we're changing over all of our fall promotional stuff over, and then on top of that, coming off of the seminar that we had last week, the one thing we came away, we were going to do a deep dive. We did a deep dive into the boat race with through Placer and stuff like that to put together a comprehensive report. Next thing we want to do is dive into the toll road and really tell that story. We have all the top line numbers, which are great for my sales kits and stuff like that, but we want to really understand that economic number and what plazas are directing traffic where, and really take a deep dive into that. So that'll be one of the next things we look at. And then we've just started sales for 2026 now, last week, so we're moving forward with that. So it's going to be a busy time coming up. And then I've been working with Bill. We finally got all of our video consolidated from our different sources. So we're in the process of now putting together our video content. We have an idea of what videos we want to focus on first. Bill's working on a small hype video to kind of kick things off. And then on top of updating some of the Cool North videos and things like that. I don't know if I missed anything, Bill, you want to?
Yeah, pretty much touched on it. A lot of video marketing, media stuff that we're really going to hone in on and focus on for our events for 2026. So I'm excited to start producing and putting that stuff together for everybody to take a look at.
So Bill is leaving Thursday for Clearwater. For X Insurance has asked Bill, or asked me if Bill could come and help them with this aspect of what they'll be doing down there, the video portion. They recognize all of the staff here, and they don't ever stop talking about Scott and what he does at the race, but now they're looking at some of the other skill sets that we have in the staff, and they've asked Bill to come down and represent us down, so that's really cool that they reached out there. We're happy about that.
They better not be trying to steal it.
Yeah, my presence here is much needed, and I recognize that, and I respect too much to.
See, I'm getting it, but see what I'm doing here, see what I'm doing here. All right.
If you want to raise that. That's not happening. So, guys, you gotta tell them about it. All right, so, Rob, Bill, anything else? Good update, great update, thank you. The last report, Pat, that I have is kind of the most fun one, really, because as we talked, finishing up last year, we did realize that we had fell short a little bit in our work in South County. And so we've doubled down on that this last year, and Chris has taken that on. And she's just doing an outstanding job. She just recently completed, her and a couple of the other staff completed attending some events. So Chris will give us maybe some updates and talk a little bit about your spreadsheet again too.
Okay, yeah, we've had a booth at 3 events. I've been at Mill Pond and Union Mills, Door Village, we had a booth, and last weekend was the Sunflower Fair. Hannah Fest was sold out, but I still made a presence. Went to the parade, talked to some folks over there. Scarecrow Fest is this weekend as well. That unfortunately is sold out, but I will again be there and make a presence there this weekend. Let's say. And then, so yeah, I've been at the 3 events and it was really great having a booth at these South County events and connecting with the community and visitors.
And so we're that tool that I talked about last week, and I'm talking about spreadsheet. Chris is managing that, and you can go to that on your leisure as a board member and look and find out what the staff is doing to support each event, whether it's in kind, whether it's actual budgeted dollars, however that came out, and the total amount of money we've so far in 25, we've spent $1 million in supporting events. Okay, not all South County, but the whole county, and that's a great number, I think, to get out there. So we're putting a lot of those dollars back where they should be. That's the way we look at that.
Do we have any involvement in committees or boards in the South County?
Westville Chamber.
West.
Yeah, I'm on the County Parks Foundation. Foundation.
It would be interesting to kind of gather what is available for us to be involved in and what we are actually involved in, so that we can maybe see some opportunities to do some other, get some more involvement. We got to really support our South counties because that's an important part of the total county. So.
And I'll just close by saying one. we're so lucky to have the staff we have. We don't talk a lot about the service we do at the front desk or the service we do on the toll road. But those staff are here also today, and we're in the best place we've ever been, in my opinion, on both. You saw those beautiful pictures of the service plazas and how Calvin keeps those up, and that's not an easy task at all. Working for the toll road itself is an interesting discussion, let alone having the visitors all come through and doing their thing with the brochures and having it, keeping it updated and fresh. And then Robbie touched on it. Now that we are the management contract for NITDC, those sales he's talking to are vital to us. I mean, there's probably, not probably, there's gonna be $160,000 that we're gonna recognize in dollars back into our revenue that come from the sales of the brochures and everything we do on the toll road. So that money's directly coming to us now. And everybody from top to bottom is just doing such a great job with that. Couldn't feel better. We're just really lucky to have the great staff we got, which extends again to the front desk and to the in-county and toll road deliveries. Just feel real good about that. So Pat, I'll conclude my report with that.
And we want to make sure we thank Calvin and Denise and Melissa for your jobs that you do. It all works together in the total picture of what we're trying to do here at the Bureau. So we're not leaving anybody out when we say thank you to a team, because that's what it is. It's a team effort. Everybody has an important role to play. Okay, do we have any unfinished business at this time? Okay, I have on mine to do the award, but that cross that off. I guess I gotta communicate better in the future of what I plan to talk about. Do we have any board comments at this time?
A couple items while we're talking about South County. This evening we have a nursing showcase at PNW. We'd love to get more nurses. In fact, if you have, we graduate probably 400 nurses a year, something that range. I don't know where they all go, but I know that probably if you there's a big, huge demand.
Get places to follow.
And if you've ever, most of us had some healthcare in Northwest Indiana or Chicagoland region, very likely the nurse that's taking care of you is a PNW grad.
Wow.
So that's this evening's showcase, but also on October.
Just let me pause there for a minute, because that's an important piece of what we talked about is the retention of our people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, PNW is big on that. We should probably bring some statistics in for everyone here, because the majority of our graduates do stay in Northwest Indiana. And in fact, I had a conversation with our chancellor one time ago. I'd like to get a list of all the graduates. Well, we have 80,000 alumni, and most of them do live in Northwest Indiana. But routinely, I'll go someplace. Yeah, I'm a PNW grad, or I'm taking some classes there, or I'm doing this. I'm running this company. I'm, in management or someplace. And so we really are a big contributor in terms of changing people's lives. And I think what's understated many times or taken for granted, that those nursing degrees and management degrees and business degrees and teaching degrees and psychology degrees, technical, whatever, those are all contributing to our economy and help support the very activity that we have here. And so it's still part of telling our story. I probably need to do a better PNW story for us. But to that point, Pumpkin Fest is coming up on October 4th. We're going to be in Westville at the Pumpkin Fest. And then that evening from 6 to 8, everybody's welcome to come. We're going to have fireworks, and we'll have some food trucks and some other jumping jiminies or wherever else we have for the kids out. I'll probably get in there, but anyway. Right. But at PNW in the Dworkin Student Activity Center, it's 6 to 8 on October 4th, fireworks. Last year we had to postpone them because we had the burn ban, and I don't think there's one in place this year. So I think we're okay with that, and we had a good turnout last year, and it's just nice to have some fall fireworks. So hopefully the weather cooperates. We'll see what happens. Thank you.
Okay, any other board comments? Okay, well, hearing none, our next board meeting will be October 28th, same time, same place. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. You all have a great month, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.